Hey shooters, it's Instructor Shane. I'm down here in my shop working on some stuff and wanted to have a conversation with you about what I call CCW gear, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When I started down my journey as a CCW holder, you really don't know a lot, right? You get on the YouTubes and hopefully someone who's on the YouTubes knows what they're talking about. And gear is a whole rabbit hole we can go down of what's good gear, what's not, how do we know what we don't know. And it's a lot of trial and error. So I'm going to kind of give you some of my experiences when it comes to CCW gear. All the firearms I'll be using right here have been cleared and verified that they are unloaded. But one thing when we get into gear is firearm choice, okay? And I see people get the littlest, tiniest gun they absolutely can, and their thing is, oh, well, it's easily concealed. It is easy to walk around with, squat with, things like that. With the right gear, you can carry any size firearm pretty much any time. So this little guy is a little Glock 42, or you have a big old HK P30L, okay? When we get into gear, gear's what's going to help conceal carry, so no one knows we're carrying a gun. But what I see a lot of is shooting is a performance-based endeavor, okay? So shooters typically try to get the littlest, tiniest gun. And my question is that the right gun for you, okay? Because when a lot of these people go to the range, do you think they're shooting the little tiny gun? Or are they shooting the bigger gun that they actually shoot better? Typically what I see is CCW holders have a smaller gun for concealed carry purposes, but then when they go to the range, they're not putting any work in on it. They're using their bigger gun, they shoot better. So the choice that I've made for me is I'm going to carry the firearm that I'm most lethal with, not the one that's the cutest, littlest one that I can conceal carry, okay? So we're going to start this journey with holsters. Getting the right holster and holster setup is crucial as a CCW holder, okay? And I see things like this on the market all the time, soft. This is like pleather and a little cushion. It might be leather. I am not a fan of these holsters, okay? And the reason for that is this does not protect the trigger of your firearm, and there's no retention. So I got a SIRT pistol. It's a training aid that shoots little red lasers out the front. So with soft holsters, can something get its way down here and still press that trigger? Absolutely, right? And at the same time, there's no retention, so the firearm can fall out of that holster. So for me, I like either Kydex, which is space age plastic, or ABS plastic for holsters, okay? Now there's some things we can do to make them a little bit more comfortable, but starting out, we have to figure where in our body we want to carry. Do we want to carry at the appendix? Do we want to carry at the 3 o'clock? Do we want to carry at the 9 o'clock? Typically, I don't recommend carrying anywhere past your sides, and I'll show you the reason why here. So you have a firearm, your holster's back here. As you go to holster, you can't see what you're doing back here, okay? And I know, we have more to forget about shooting than we do to learn, because typically, where did most of us learn things about guns and shooting? Typically movies, right? I thought after watching Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, like the smaller your back with no holster was the way everyone carried a gun, okay? So the thing is, I like 3 to 9 forward. That way, when I'm reholstering a firearm, I can actually see what I am doing. Okay? So once we make a decision on where we want to carry, this is going to be a typical appendix carrier right up front holster. Okay? Now, there's a million holster manufacturers out there. Personally, a lot of my holsters are 951 Tactical out of Menifee. Aaron runs a small business out of his garage, and I like supporting small businesses because I know when I buy stuff from him that I am helping support his family. Okay, he has given us a promo code for his website at 951tactical.com. That promo code is DTF10. We'll give you 10% off any order. So typically when these holsters come, you get a plastic clip, and then you have an option to get a claw or a mod wing on this. And I'll go into that here in a minute. I am not a huge fan of these plastic clips. The reason for that is you're gonna find out after a couple months of carrying with this, this is not gonna stay in your waistband, right? So you'll be sitting there going to draw your gun, and when you draw it, the holster's gonna come out with the gun, okay? So I always like, if I get a holster and this is the only thing it comes with, I like getting what's called a discreet carry concept clip. It's gonna look something like this. Now, a lot of holster manufacturers have added this to kind of some different attachments. Instead of getting the plastic clip, you can get this. The thing I like about this is it's actually metal. There's actually 2 clips. And if you look here, there's little teeth on the bottom there that are gonna clip onto most anything, okay? So I like a redundant system. I like the fact it's metal, not plastic. I've been using discrete carry concept clips since like 2019, I think. And I have never broken one. My holster has never come out of my pants when I didn't want it to. So I always recommend making that swap. So for most of our appendix holsters, it's going to ask if you want a mod wing or a claw. Manufacturers call it different things. And what this does is this is going to push the back end or the pistol grip part. It sits behind the belt, and right here our body naturally curves, but when we're carrying a gun, the gun just kind of keeps going, and we run the risk of printing. So by having this mod wing behind the belt, it's gonna push the back or bottom part of this grip more in line with the natural roundedness of our body. Now, if we're looking more for like a 3 o'clock carry, there's some different options. Those aren't bad, but me personally, I like having a 2-clip system that is kind of wider apart than right here in the middle of the holster. Because you can kind of see here, we have our clips and there's kind of a natural curve to these types of holsters. And if we're carrying them at 3 or 9 o'clock, it's gonna help that pistol grip conceal, having that holster have the natural roundedness of our body, okay? You know, there's single clip systems. This is one of my current holsters. It's a 2-clip system. I really like these 2-clip systems. I carry this appendix, but the nice part of having these 2-clip systems is as these are screwed in, if I want this gun to be raised from my belt line, I can adjust it. If I want it lowered, if I want to can it this way, if I want to can it that way. So there's a lot of flexibility in the 2-clip holsters to really adjust it with the ergonomics of our body. And then, hey, how much out of the belt do I need that pistol grip? Because what we see a lot of with some holsters is, you know, your belt's right here at my finger, and, you know, the grip's right here, and as you try to get a grip, your belt ends up getting in the way and you're not getting a full firing grip on the firearm as you're trying to draw from the holster. Okay. Now, some people like to off-body carry. Some people use this is a what they call a belly band. It's a piece of elastic you put around your belly. I am not a fan of these. There is one company out there currently that makes these, but there's a hard Kydex shell on the side of it to actually holster your firearm, make there be retention. It fully protects the trigger, because all you do with these is just, hey, it just sits like that. Can I still press the trigger? Yes. Can it easily slide out? Yes. Okay. So if you are running a belly band, or you want to off-body carry, maybe in a fanny pack, things like that, something we might want to think about if we don't want to have a full traditional holster is this is what's called a minimalist holster. Okay. And all this does is clip over the trigger guard so that that trigger's fully protected. Okay. And then from here, you could put this in a belly band. I know back when I used to go backpacking out in the mountains for a couple days, I had a fanny pack right here. I had my full pack on top. And I had a fanny pack that just had a Glock 19 sitting in the fanny pack like this. But what I did with this guy was I sewed it into the fanny pack, so that way, mountain lion or whatever maybe I needed, I can draw it out of the fanny pack. That trigger guard will come off. If I need to employ my firearm, I can. But then before holstering back up, I can just clip this back over the trigger, because if our trigger's fully protected, our gun is inert in the holster, and it cannot fire unless it's a P320. Okay, so having a good quality holster adjusted to you makes all the difference of what you can get away with carrying or not carrying.